A very good morning and welcome to Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories. President Pranab Mukherjee sounds note of caution, urges government and opposition to work jointly to avoid ordinance route for normal legislations. In the run-up to presenting the Union Budget, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says there is a need to rationalize all subsidies, ensure stability in policies to attract investment. Kiran Bedi to be the BJP's chief ministerial candidate in Delhi's party's parliamentary board releases list of candidates. Delhi Chief Satish Upadhyay to sit out. Government reconstitutes Central Board of Film Certification. Filmmaker Pahlaj Nihalani to be the new chief. And India to play a crucial second match of the triangular ODI cricket series against England at Brisbane in a short while from now. And the big story this morning, President Pranab Mukherjee has warned the opposition against frequent disruptions in Parliament, even as he cautioned the government against taking the ordinance route frequently to enact normal legislations. Here's a report.
Ahead of the budget session of Parliament, President Pranab Mukherjee on Monday indicated that both ruling and opposition parties have to work out solutions to avoid having to issue ordinances frequently. Addressing faculty and students of central universities and research institutions, the President said the Constitution did provide for promulgation of ordinances, but only in extraordinary situations.
To meet certain exigencies and under compelling circumstances, the framers of the Constitution deemed it necessary to confer limited legislative power upon the executive by way of promulgation of ordinances when the legislature is not in session and circumstances justified immediate legislation. The framers also deemed it necessary to impose certain restrictions on this extraordinary legislative power by constitutionally mandating replacement of such ordinances within a time frame by the legislators.
Referring to disruptions in the houses, the President said the political establishment should engage in a dialogue and resolve their differences.
There is a growing tendency to resort to disruption as a means of parliamentary intervention. Dissent is a recognized democratic expression, but disruption leads to loss of time and resources and paralyzes policy formulation. The cardinal principle of parliamentary democracy is that the majority has the mandate to rule, while opposition has the right to oppose, expose, and if the number permits, to depose. But under no circumstances should there be disruption of the proceedings. A noisy minority cannot be allowed to gag a patient majority.
The President also pointed out that the time devoted by members of Parliament is declining.
The Parliament's role in policy articulation, its implementation and oversight is critical. It is therefore incumbent on the members of the Parliament to discuss and undertake adequate scrutiny of all business transacted in the House. Unfortunately, the time devoted by the members in Parliament has been gradually declining. The first three Lok Sabhas had 677, 581 and 578 sittings respectively. Compared to that, the 13th, 14th and 15th Lok Sabhas had 356, 332 and 357 sittings respectively. We all should hope that the 16th Lok Sabha reverses this trend.
The President's remark come in the backdrop of the central government promulgating 9 ordinances in recent weeks. These include opening the insurance sector to higher foreign investment after Parliament was paralysed in the winter session. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, ahead of the general budget next month, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says there is a need to rationalize all subsidies and increase public spending on infrastructure in the months to come. Jaitley underlined the need for stability in tax and other policies to make India an attractive place for investment. Take a look.
The centre has hinted that it will rationalize all subsidies soon. The government is expected to incorporate the suggestions of the Expenditure Finance Commission, headed by former RBI Governor Bimal Jalan, in the budget proposals for the next financial year. Jalan is reported to have submitted interim recommendations to the Finance Ministry, suggesting various steps to rationalize subsidies and public expenditure.
From 1st January onwards, the LPG subsidy goes into the bank accounts. The Expenditure Management Commission has made some interim suggestions. I am looking at them. And then you will have to gradually address the rationalization of all possible subsidies.
He also said that the government will increase public spending on infrastructure in months to come. The government estimates the country needs to spend close to 5,000 crore rupees on infrastructure to grow 7% per annum, sharply higher than around 5.5% projected by the RBI for the current fiscal year. Jaitley said that the public spending on infrastructure would have to increase because the old PPP model was under stress and needed to be revived.
Where in months to come our emphasis is going to be on far greater investment, both domestic and international. We have to concentrate on manufacturing. We have to concentrate on infrastructure.
Jaitley also underlined the need for stability in tax and other policies to make India an attractive place for investment.
I've been struggling in the last few months to rationalize our taxation to make it as far as non-adversarial. Our effort is going to be to make sure that as far as our tax structures, our budgetary processes are concerned, they are perfectly transparent. I do not favor the idea of there being any concealed fiscal deficit.
Jaitley had promised eminent changes, pushing ahead with key reforms such as the introduction of a nationwide sales tax. He said the implementation of the goods and services tax will help in improving the business climate in the country. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more on that story, we are joined this morning in our studio by eminent economist Mr. Akash Jindal. A very warm welcome and good morning, Mr. Jindal. First of all, we would like to understand from you what rationalization exactly means.
I think, yes, it's a very important thing firstly to understand. See, a rationalization would mean, think in a rational manner, think logically, or to employ some reason in thinking. Now, in today's context or today's pretext, what it would mean is that as far as subsidies are concerned, how efficiently can we use our subsidies? And again, how we can plug the leakages in the subsidies, and whether can we actually reduce some subsidies which are going into those areas which are not useful for the country or for the public.
Right.
So I think to summarize it in a layman's language, how to have the best possible utilization of the money which is available for subsidies. And I think Finance Minister is right in saying that, because we do need to rationalize our subsidies. See, I'll simplify it further. The government has got, really in common man's language or in layman's language, the government has got limited amount of money. Or we understand in an economist language that the deficit or our annual loss of the government expenditure versus the income is high. Our deficit is high according to international standards. So we have limited amount of money and we have to have the best utilization of that money.
Right.
Now, one way is to keep on giving subsidies to people. The second way is to put that money into infrastructure or to promote investments. That way what would happen is, that way there would be lots of jobs for people. So is it a good way to give subsidies to people, or to have more job creation.
Right.
Now, in simple terms, in case in rural India, we can have roads, railways, 24/7 energy, and industrialists go and put factories, put plants. What may happen is that our BPL brothers or sisters who are staying far-flung in villages in remote areas, perhaps as a family, as of now, they may be earning 3,000, 4,000 rupees. Now, tomorrow, in case an industrialist puts up a plant there, he needs lots and lots of people. He needs unskilled workers. He needs security guards, drivers. So that BPL friend of ours may start earning 12,000 rupees per month. Similarly, his wife would also get a job there. So the family's income would rise from perhaps 3,000, 4,000 to 24,000. So when the income has risen to 24,000, does he need subsidies? So this is the way how we benefit him. Do we benefit him by giving him subsidies, or do we benefit him by providing him in gainful job opportunities or gainful employment, wherein with that money he can buy everything. He can get that roti, kapda, makan
So in
for
this
all
age,
family.
so in this age of globalization, what do you think are the other pros and cons of this step by the government?
I think a very right word you have used in these days of globalization. That is where I wanted to come, and that's a logical thing. Because see, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or perhaps 50 years ago, when we had a subsidy, we had more dependence on subsidies, or 30 years ago also, we were producing for our own country.
Right.
Now these are days of globalization. The globe is getting integrated. So subsidy rationalization would mean more transparency, more efficiency, lesser corruption. See, we are competing with the rest of the world.
Right.
One fact is, which all of us know and we have to accept, that as far as manufacturing is concerned, and manufacturing is the dream of our PM Modi Sahab, he is always talking about this nice concept about Make in India. In manufacturing, China in the past 15 years, they have raced ahead of us. Now we have to compete with them. So to compete with them, we need to have transparency, we need to have efficiency, we need to have 24/7 power.
Right.
So for that, lots and lots of money needs to be spent on infrastructure, and lots of capabilities need to be built up,
Right.
as far as infrastructure is concerned, as far as people is concerned. So I think we have to change our approach, that the money which the government spends should be there to increase the per capita income growth of the people, and with that money, people can buy roti, kapda, makan, health and education for them. So that would be a better utilization of national resources, and in these days, this is the order in the world.
Right.
So we have to ultimately pursue the path which the world is pursuing of being efficient, being transparent. That's the only way how we compete with them, because as of now, see, our plan is to have international money here, which would produce here, make in India. So then for that, we need to have world-class infrastructure.
True.
We need to have efficiencies, we need to have skills. I'll give you a small example. In many smaller towns of India, small units employing 40 people, 50 people, they get shut because they get only 2 hours, 4 hours or 6 hours of electricity. And for that also, they have to bribe somebody. Now, in case we get them 24/7 electricity, energy, without any bribery to anybody, what
Right.
would mean is that the small-scale industrialist, he would perhaps expand his capacity from 50 to 100.
So
What it
simplifying
means is-
ways,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Simplifying ways to do business in India, and like the finance minister says, making India a country that can attract a lot of investments. So I think we'll have to leave it at that, Mr. Jindal. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving your perspective on that story. With that, we'll slip into a very short break here. On the other side, former Congress MP Shashi Tharoor grilled for nearly 4 hours till late last night in the Suranda Pushkar murder probe. That and much more on the other side. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with Breakfast News. So, on to some political news now. Kiran Bedi will be the BJP's chief ministerial candidate in Delhi. Putting at rest days of speculation, the BJP officially named her the party's chief ministerial candidate last night after last night's parliamentary board meeting that went on for several hours. A list of 62 candidates has also been released by the party for the 7th February polls, springing up a surprise for many. Here's a report.
Delhi is to have a direct contest between former associates Kiran Bedi and Arvind Kejriwal for the top job. After days of speculation, the BJP anointed the former IPS officer as its chief ministerial candidate for the February 7 Delhi polls. The decision was taken at the party's parliamentary board meeting Monday night.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो नाम दिल्ली के लोगों के सामने रखा है, वो दिल्ली की जनता की अपेक्षा की पूर्ति करेगा और किरण बेदी जी के नेतृत्व में चुनाव लड़ने का जो हमारा निर्णय है, ये निश्चित ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी को विजय दिलाएगा।
But the party has avoided a direct face-off between Bedi and Kejriwal from the New Delhi seat. She will instead be contesting from the Krishnanagar seat in East Delhi, which is considered a BJP stronghold. Former Delhi Chief and now Union Minister Harshvardhan had contested from the same seat in the last polls. Bedi thanked the party leadership for what she calls a huge responsibility.
धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैंने तो आपको कहा था कि मैं किसी भी जगह दिल्ली से चुनाव के लिए तैयार हूं, क्योंकि सारी दिल्ली मेरी है।
The party also released a list of 61 other candidates, prominent among them former UPA Minister Krishna Tirath. She joined the Saffron Party just hours before the list was announced. A Dalit leader, Tirath will be contesting from the Patel Nagar seat.
पार्टीज देश में बनती हैं, वो जन सेवा के लिए बनती हैं, देश की सेवा के लिए पार्टीज बनती हैं, और जिसमें देश सेवा की भावना आई मैं साथ आ गई।
Others include former Delhi Minister and senior party leader Jagdish Mukhi, who will contest from Janakpuri against his son-in-law, while former Delhi BJP chief Vijender Gupta has been fielded from Rohini. The party has put up a young face, former DUSU President Nupur Sharma, to take on Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal from the New Delhi constituency. But just like the Congress, the BJP too has decided not to field its state chief Satish Upadhyay in the Delhi polls. Upadhyay, like his counterpart Arvinder Singh Lovely, will help manage the elections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, our correspondent Spriti Rastogi had a one-on-one chat with Kiran Bedi yesterday on her entering the poll fray and a host of other issues. Let's listen.
I'm here at the massive road shows organised by the BJP at Rohini today, which is being campaigned by the former IPS officer and social activist Kiran Bedi. Ma'am, what will be the important issues which BJP will be fighting for this time around in Delhi?
Total governance, total good governance, in totality, as an organic whole, which includes everything, but it will be honesty-based.
Very interesting slogan I got to hear. Modi at centre and BJP and Bedi in Delhi. What would you say about that statement being made by the workers right now?
That's their feeling. It's their emotion. I have no hand in it. It's by rhyme, by nature, not my hand. No hand in it.
But what about the euphoria among people this time around? Massive turnout of people here.
They are desperate to see no repeat election. They don't want another election another year. They want they want Delhi to move forward. Delhi has not moved forward. It's standing still. It's only confrontational. It's only accusation. It's all allegations. Delhi is a capital. If Delhi is in trouble, economy of the country also gets affected. It's only breaking news negatively.
How many seats, ma'am, do you expect to win this time around for the BJP?
I do not know.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations.
And Congress MP and former Union Minister Shashi Tharoor was interrogated for nearly 4 hours till late last night in the murder case of his wife Sunanda Pushkar. Tharoor reached the office of the Special Investigation Team in Delhi around 7:30 p.m. and left around midnight. Extra police force was deployed at the Vasant Vihar police station in view of the questioning. The police had told him about questioning on Sunday. It is not clear whether Tharoor's questioning got over for the day or it will resume again some other day. Sources say Tharoor was quizzed about where he was when he received news of Sunanda's death, her injury marks and medication and issues between them. Meanwhile, details of Sunanda's medical condition right before her death indicate that she claimed to be a patient of lupus. She was keeping unwell for at least 3 months prior to her death. And filmmaker Prahlad Nihalini has been named the new chief of the Central Board of Film Certification. The government reconstituted the board yesterday, appointing 9 new members. They include film director Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi, filmmaker Ashok Pandit, and BJP leader Vani Tripathi Tiko. An official release said that the tenure of the chairperson and of the members of the CBC will be of 3 years. Earlier, all the board members, including the chairperson Leela Sampson, had resigned, accusing coercion and interference by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry in the CBFC affairs. She was also unhappy after Film Certification Appellate Tribunal cleared the controversial film Messenger of God, which the censor board had not cleared. And now let's take a look at some big news-making events lined up for the day today in our special segment, The Day Ahead. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu will arrive in New Delhi today for a 3-day visit. He will hold crucial talks with Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar and review the ongoing cooperation and future prospects in the defense sector. Russia is expected to raise the issue of the much-delayed joint production of a 5th-generation fighter aircraft and BrahMos mini-missile among several other issues. Myanmar's first Vice President Sai Mokham will be in New Delhi today. He's on a 5-day visit to hold talks with the top leadership, aiming to enhance bilateral ties on a variety of issues. He visited the holy city of Bodh Gaya on his arrival in India on Monday. Chief Election Commissioner H.S. Brahma will launch the 6-day-long Matdata Mahotsav today. This comes ahead of the National Voters' Day, which is celebrated on the 25th of January. Various programs will be organized to create public awareness on the importance of voting. Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal is expected to file nomination for the Delhi Assembly polls today at Jamnagar House at the Shah Jahan Road. Ahead of filing the nomination, he will hold a road show from Valmiki Mandir to Jantar Mantar. Congress leader Kiran Walia will also file her nomination from the New Delhi constituency. Elections for the 70-member Delhi Assembly will be held on the 7th of February. Today is the last day for Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal to reply to an Election Commission notice against his bribe remarks. The Election Commission had issued a notice to Kejriwal on the 17th of January for violating the Model Code of Conduct by making false allegations against Delhi BJP chief Satish Upadhyay and General Secretary Ashish Sood. The Commission had sought an explanation from Kejriwal by 3 p.m. Well, the 5-day annual summit of the World Economic Forum gets underway in Davos today. Union Ministers Arun Jaitley and Piyush Goyal, as well as more than 100 industry leaders from India, will be attending the summit this year. Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramaniam and Chief Ministers of Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh will also be present. 40 heads of states or governments, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel, France's President Francois Hollande, China's Prime Minister Li Keqiang will be there too, besides 2,500 business leaders from around the world. The World Economic Forum has urged governments to measure minimum wages, train union membership, investment in public services and corruption as part of an action plan for tackling rising inequality. And let's take a look. India will be looking to plug the bowling loopholes and ensure a stronger batting display when they take on England in their second ODI Tri-Series cricket match in Brisbane today. Both sides will be looking to register their first win in this tournament. Hosts Australia have already stolen a march with 2 successive wins. Australia beat England by 3 wickets in Sydney on Friday and then beat India by 4 wickets in Melbourne on Sunday with 9 points from 2 games. This Tri-Series is billed as a dress rehearsal for the World Cup starting next month. Today's match gets underway at 8:50 a.m. India time. And finally, if the cold wave is bogging you down, take a look at this. Residents of Moscow braving the chill and plunging into icy waters of the Moskva River to celebrate the festival of Orthodox Epiphany. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.